So take a look at this. If you're driving and listening, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through what's on the screen. This chart is from the Atlanta Fed, so this is from our Federal Reserve experts, and it's a trend line showing from 2006 to today, basically the beginning of 23, end of 22. And what it's showing is it's a chart that goes 0 to 100%, and it shows you a line moving across there showing you the percentage. But what it's showing you is very interesting. In 2006, before the '08 financial crisis and crash, and that's the big short and housing and all that, the line is at 46%. But what is the chart about? The chart was showing what percent of consumers' median income did they need to make a house payment. That's the house payment, property taxes, and home insurance, just the basics, but those are three things that make up your house payment. You're paying the mortgage every month, but there's also insurance in there, and there also needs to be a set aside, if you're smart, so that you can pay your property taxes, usually in December of every year, depending on the state and the county you live in. But it was showing that it was taking people 46% of that median income way back then, 46, 42. Now what it shows is the line drops to 35% a year later in March 2007, and a year after that to 30% in March '08. So in 2 years, it goes from 46, 42% down to 30%. So in some ways, that's a good thing because that meant that people needed less of their money on housing. But after that crash, it trends down over 5 years, kind of a steady trend down to 26% in January of 2013. And that's kind of the low water mark. So it stays there, basically 26, pops back up to 32, and around 30 for the next 8 years until March of 2021. So in other words, for almost a decade, as you can see on the chart, if you're driving, just kind of picture it, consumers were in a stable, reasonable time period as they needed an average of 30% or maybe a bit less of their income to cover housing costs. But buckle up, because here comes COVID and printing money. In 1 year, from March 2021, that I just told you that March 2021 is about 28, 29%, it skyrockets to 46.4%. And that's higher than 2006, actually achieved higher. Now, why did that happen? Well, three things. We printed money, causing asset prices, houses, to the value to go up, and interest rates went up. When you multiply that, guess what was happening in the market? There were some, remember all those homes that were sold? It was like a party time in 2001, going into early 2022 till they started raising interest rates and the party stopped. But this shows that right now it's settled back at about 43%. That is what it is taking American consumers right now for a house payment and their insurance and their property taxes. And that, there's only one word for that, and that is damn. You remember that used to be my pet phrase. But now let's put on top of it the effect of inflation on food, gasoline, basic staples, and basic living expenses. And when you take 43% of your income here at the beginning of '03, along with the effects of inflation and everything, you know, it's suddenly, you know what? A dad joke comes to mind. Hey, Kellyanne, what do you get when there are moths in your bed?
I'm scared to ask.
Holy sheet.
I'm pretty sure Biz Doc Babe said you're not supposed to tell any more dad jokes.
Yeah, she's probably right. But holy sheet, the consumer is getting hit hard by inflation, home prices, and rising interest rates. And so, you know, it's not my desire to share downer news like this, but when I saw this chart, I was like, wow, this just tells me that I should be conservative. I talked to my brother over the weekend, and I said, hey, Matt, you know, you need to be a little more conservative with things if you're not planning it. He said, I'm not buying a car. I'm not doing any of that. I've done some home improvement, a little equity line a couple years ago, but I'm really not doing anything. I'm just staying the course and being conservative. I'm like, that's what I want to hear. Because this year, hey, I want people to have fun. I don't want people to hear this and think that I'm like, you know, Dr. Depression. I'm not. But it's time to be stepping away from the mainstream media that's telling everybody, oh, it's a party, unemployment is 3% and all this stuff's going on. That may be true, but inflation's not under control. Things are more expensive, and facts are speaking loudly about the impact on consumers. So it's time maybe to chill a little bit. You know what? A walk in the park in your city costs nothing. If you're fortunate enough to live by mountains, go for a hike. If you're near the ocean, go to the beach. That sort of stuff costs nothing. But be a little bit conservative this year and kind of chill a little bit. I keep flares, I keep gloves and a poncho in the trunk of all my cars. Why? So I have them when I need them, and I just never know when I'm going to need them. And I have a feeling that the rest of this year, especially with what we just saw happen over the weekend, that it's going to be pretty severe. So that's the level of uncertainty. So I would watch the savings account at the bank, be prudent with your checking account, keep your eye on it, and be conservative. Now is the time just to be prudent, enjoy the summer, chill, get together with friends, family, but also just be mindful and be aware. And I'm speaking to consumers, I'm speaking to business owners that were maybe thinking about big equipment purchases. It may be time just to kind of look around a little bit.